Welcome to Thoughts on Tech, powered by Eastern Communications. This series aims to raise awareness and promote inclusivity in ICT here in the Philippines.
How we can balance innovation and regulation. We need to ensure that emerging technologies are safe to use, from deployment, design to implementation.
Security is not a one-time thing that you implement or you put into place. It's a constantly evolving thing. The best practice is always keep on improving, keep on finding the loopholes.
During the pandemic, a lot of the things that really worry the overall business is that what's going to happen to our brick and mortar internet cafes, right? One of the things that we did see through technology is our ability to continuously still have these tournaments, but on an online platform.
Gone are the days that cybersecurity is only for big enterprises. Those who can't afford, let's make them affordable, and we're giving them the opportunity to protect themselves as well.
My name is Dani Laurel, and I'm thrilled to be your host in this unique podcast series. Welcome to Thoughts on Tech, powered by Eastern Communications. My name is Dani Laurel, and I'm thrilled to be your host in this unique podcast series. This series aims to raise awareness and promote inclusivity in ICT here in the Philippines. With the advent of digital finance and artificial intelligence penetrating our daily lives, the conveniences and benefits come with the risks of scams and security threats. So in this podcast episode, let's shed light on safeguarding enterprise assets. We have with us none other than Cath Paleracio. She's the Chief Information Security Officer over at Tonik Bank. Hi, Cath, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
Now, I've been following the journey of Tonik, for quite some time now. Of course, just to remind our listeners and viewers here, Tonik is the pioneer digital-only bank here in the Philippines. But we know that it came from Eastern Europe, if I'm not mistaken, or at least the founder came from there. Give us a rundown on how you came to come to the country. Now you're turning 3 years old here in the Philippines.
Okay, so Tonik is a revolutionary neobank. So initially we're in the Southeast Asia region. But we've come to the Philippines to provide Filipinos with innovative banking.
Mm-hmm.
So we started operations in March 2021.
Okay.
And we're provided with a digital license bank by BSP. So basically, it came out of a pure play platform to offer digital banking app to the Filipinos.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because, the Filipino culture that we tend to keep our monies in our pockets, in our wallet, or at home. Yes, under the pillow, in a cabinet. So, and when we need money, we tend to borrow from our parents, from our brothers and sisters, and even our neighbors and our friends. So that's the reason we came in to target the reluctant, those that are hesitant to go to a bank and borrow money or transact in a formal bank, and also to target, of course, the underbanked, the unbanked, and even those that are not happy with satisfied with the current services that their current banks are offering. So yeah, and maybe your question was why in the Philippines,
Right. Why now? Diba? Or why in the middle of the pandemic?
Yes. Actually, because let's admit that Filipinos are very tech savvy.
Okay.
We can do all things around our mobile phones. We're very much into internet, right? So it's a good target market. And also, because the Philippines is a good market, of course, we can deny that there's $100 billion unsecured lending market in the Philippines. So what we did was basically come up with a mobile app that's easy to use. With a few taps, you'll have an account. With a few taps, you can transact. And even do time deposits. You could see already how much you would earn when after a certain amount of time, and even the loans that you'll be doing, you could easily see what you need to pay for every month. Yeah, so basically that's it.
All right. Well, I mean, as you mentioned, it's no surprise that the Philippines is an interesting market for digital finance. Like you mentioned, there are so many people that remain unbanked and such a difficult thing to get even a traditional bank account.
Yeah,
we have 110 million population. So surely some of them are going to use digital banking services. Give us an idea of what you do in Tonik Bank and your journey to arrive at your position today.
Okay, so I'm the Chief Information Security Officer. So my primary role is to ensure that the cybersecurity posture of the bank is always up and updated. It's a big responsibility already. But if you will transform that on a day-to-day task, that's basically looking at our security tools to track if there are people trying to attack us, or ensuring that our mobile app has the best security in place, and ensuring that it will be able to protect the information that's in our mobile app and the customer's data. I came from a traditional bank itself.
Okay.
So the reason why I joined Tonik was purely out of curiosity, because it's a very new concept. Imagine a bank without a branch.
Yeah.
So that's why I joined Tonik, because I want to see how it works and if it's really doable.
But let's take a step back, because everyone has been talking about digital finance for so long, and everybody knows that there's a lot of exclusivity when it comes to banking here in the country. Give us, an update on, has it improved? Has inclusivity and finance improved? Are people, like you mentioned, Filipinos are quite hesitant. We're digitally savvy. We love to buy and shop online. We love to do Facebook. But when it comes to transactions and loans and putting your money in the cloud, are we really getting on board? Is there a lot of growth in that space?
If we look back around 2018, the transactions in terms of digital payments are around 1% only. Wow, yes. But going back to 2021, it plummeted to 30%, and I think now it's around going to the 50%.
50. So half of transactions are digital.
And I think the biggest contributor was, of course, the pandemic. It pushed people to do things online, to minimize the contact. So that's the biggest push. And that also drives the behavior of the consumers. So just like what you mentioned, we're doing online shopping now, and that equates to digital payments as well.
Okay.
Credit cards, transfers. So it equates to that. So in terms of digital payments, so that's the way to go already. And in terms of if there are things that need to improve on, there, of course, still the market is still big to explore.
Okay.
And we're seeing that will still go up in the future.
But what about this culture of mistrust? No, are Filipinos, has that changed in any way, that we now have trust in the digital space compared to, let's say, lining up in a brick and mortar branch?
At first, it was very difficult to have that concept instilled to Filipinos, because we're used to, as what you mentioned, a traditional bank. So we have to line up, you have to get your cash on hand, you need to transact and sign up some papers to open an account. But eventually, because the rising need for a digital payments, a digital platform, people were able to embrace it better now.
Also by necessity, no choice like that.
Partly because of that, and people also, I think, have seen the efficiency of doing things online, because you can do it anywhere, and you can do it maybe on their mobile phones easily at any point in time, or you can do that anywhere and anytime.
Are you seeing a specific demographic, younger people using Tonik, or is it, indiscriminate to age or gender or kinds of socioeconomic classes?
So since most of the mobile users, smartphone users, are of course in the younger age, so most of our users are on the age range.
All right. Now, let's talk about what you mentioned earlier, and let's talk about trust. Because at the end of the day, okay, this was born out of necessity, but we still need to understand what are the tools that you put in place to ensure that our money is safe in Tonik. Give our viewers here an overview of what types of tools you're using, implementing on a daily basis, how safe their money is.
So in Tonik, yes, the security, of course, is the primary importance, because that's our reputation at stake. We implement what we call the multi-layered approach in terms of security. So we make sure we protect our assets, we protect our perimeter, or the things that surround our systems and our applications. But more importantly, what I'm seeing is having a holistic approach to security. So meaning seeing not only the technology, implementing tools in place. So you also need to polish your processes, make sure that it's always effective based on security best practices. It's important also that you equip the people, your employees, your administrators, even your consumers, of course, equipment with the proper knowledge, the proper awareness, And of course, an important part also is our supply chain, the vendors that we're engaging to, because that's part of our ecosystem.
So we may monitor them as well. Okay. Now, you mentioned security things in place. Can you tell our viewers whether you have the same security measures as any traditional bank? Is it different? Do you have more, or, how does it differ?
For the digital banks, it's a bit different already.
Okay.
For one, so we're running on a cloud infrastructure. We can see the physical location of our data, but it's somewhere in the cloud. So we must be more strict about it, more reviews in place, more controls in place. So more due diligence in place
and it's just part of the business model. No? Is there a level of regulation from the government or Banco Central when it comes to cybersecurity for digital banks?
Yeah, for banks, it's the same for whether you're a traditional or a digital bank. But of course, the take is different for digital banks.
Yeah.
For one, it's because it's a new concept also, even to the regulator.
Of course, yeah.
We can't compare it apples to apples.
Are they watching you?
They're watching us because they don't know what to watch out for yet.
Okay, that's so interesting.
Yes.
But in the past 3 years that you've been here, has it become easier, harder to manage cybersecurity? Because it seems, there's still all of these scams and they're in abundance now with artificial intelligence. We thought we've outsmarted them with the technology, but it seems it's just so difficult. Is there even a possibility for us to manage all of these scams? Is it under your control?
To be honest, security is ever evolving. So the more that we're relying on technology, it's also the same for them. If we take advantage of technology, they're also taking advantage of technology, the cyber criminals. So you really have to be a step ahead of them always. And the fun thing about security is it never stops. There's always something to explore, something to look at.
All right. But in terms of the normal user, right, who, doesn't know that the level of technology that you have is not that aware, how can they protect themselves? When they're using the app, is there any specific things that they need to do? Especially now with artificial intelligence, are there more, checks apart from, change your passwords all the time, keep it handy, don't click on links. But these are the normal things that we know. But now it's becoming more and more complex, deep fakes. What can we do as consumers?
So I think the important thing is consumers must also be updated on what is happening. It's important. You can't be scammed if you know the real process of things, right? So if you're aware of how things work, that would prevent you from being scammed in the first place. It's good to know also the current events. You'll see what's happening in the.
It's a good thing.
Yes. If it's, I keep on telling people that it's really you're in doubt of something, so don't proceed with it. Don't go on it and validate. Validate with the proper channels. If you're unsure, talk to your bank and ask them if it's really the real deal.
What are the best practices right now when it comes to cybersecurity?
So, I think apart from always ensuring that you are up to date with the latest trends, with the emerging threats, you must also continue to review what you have. So I think that's the message. Security is not a one-time thing that you implement or you put into place. It's a constantly evolving thing because as what I'm telling earlier, cyber criminals are constantly getting better,
It changes every day.
Yes.
So a need for more regulation in that space, especially in the Philippines.
Yeah, in terms of regulations, BSP, specifically for banks, have been recently very active in promoting cybersecurity. So recently, they are putting up a plan already which they have consulted the banks. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a bill coming up almost in the latter stage, the AFASA bill, that's basically criminalizing the acts of scams. So there's been a tremendous effort and support from the government with regard to that.
Okay, but what was it that made Tonik say, okay, now you can do digital banking. Mm-hmm. Now it's right for the picking. Mm-hmm. And now we can compete with these banks that have been here for centuries, more than a century, some of them, and decades. They give us an idea of why you envision a digital-only Philippines.
Mm-hmm. So basically, the first, of course, is the number of mobile smartphone users.
Okay.
We almost have 70% mobile smartphone users in the country, and that's the first premise because you need a mobile app to a mobile device to do mobile banking, digital banking, and of course the rise of digital transactions. So that helps as well. And syempre the market. So there's still a very big market of unbanked, underbanked. So that's something we have seen that you could tap on.
Do you see yourselves as replacing a traditional bank or being, another option? Or do people normally have one digital bank, one traditional bank? How do you position yourself? Or are you a fintech company, let's say, assisting those that don't have a bank account just yet?
Yeah, we would like to see more of being a bank that's catering to the unbanked, and touching, so what I mentioned earlier, more of the people that are not happy with their current bank. So more of a different option for them, because what we could offer is more of efficiency, simple things, and faster ways to do things.
We mentioned already the ensuring that the money is super safe, right? How do you safeguard data, customer data, and make sure that these leaks don't come out? And now you have, cookie consent, all of those things. How safe is our information when we put it in a digital cloud?
Okay. So the first thing, of course, is where you put your data in, which is in the cloud infrastructure. So we make sure that there, of course, no unauthorized access in that setup, and it's always aligned with the best practices configurations. And of course, the usual encryption, all of them in place, and protecting the data. Even in our mobile app, we ensure that all those controls in place. So we do the regular checks. We also are certified with PCI DSS. So it's a payment card industry data security standard. So meaning we have controls in place to protect the card data specifically.
Yeah. All right. And still to the question of artificial intelligence, is there a way for us to outsmart AI? Or how to use AI, let's say, to the advantage of cybersecurity? Maybe that's a better question. Are you using AI in cybersecurity?
Currently, what we're using for AI is on operational efficiency.
Okay.
But in terms of cybersecurity, partly we're using it in terms of tools, in terms of the behavior of the assets and the people, the accounts, those that we could see already as part of security.
How is cybersecurity going to evolve in the future? What needs to be done?
It's difficult to predict, actually. Who would have thought that deepfake will be happening? Right? So we could not, predict what will happen. But the more important thing is you should be ready. And you will be able to adapt to whatever will be happening.
It's your responsibility to, educate customers, diba? And I can just imagine, for now, hopefully there will be no scams, hopefully no phishing, and the money will be safe. But what are the things that you have done to create awareness within the Tonik community? And just basic, not just financial literacy education, but education on cybersecurity. Do you have programs in place for our customers?
Yes, definitely we have consumer awareness programs. It's also a mandate for all banks to have that. So we make sure that we post something in our social media site, at least people that could relate to, because targeted awareness are always better and effective. So we make sure that we could able to reach out to them to social media, to SMS notification, through in-app notification, and even via email. So yeah, we continuously do that towards our customers.
All right. So now you've assured us, and if anyone has a question, they're going to be looking for you. But maybe before we let you go, give us an idea of what the targets are for Tonik. What are your aspirations and goals? How many customers are you planning to meet in the next few years at least? What are your goals in this country, and how do you envision digital finance?
Yeah. So currently, Tonik has already onboarded 1.5 million customers within its 3 years of training. Wow. So hopefully we could, of course, do more. So of course, we'd always aspire for more, basically to extend that same objective to the consumers.
I mean, you have customers from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao,
Yes, within the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we're also already have unit profitability, and we have also already extended to 3 consumer lending products: our installment loans, our payroll back loan, and our cash loan. So hopefully, maybe we'll be expanding those more to continue to tap to the untapped market, so the unbanked market.
All right. So exciting times for Tonik. So from 1.5M, we'll see how that goes. And once again, a lot of cybersecurity risks are still out there. You're not denying that. We just need to be agile and take things as they come, and of course, invest in technology to keep our assets safe, safeguard our assets. Thank you so much. It was, of course, Cath Paleracio, Tonik Bank's Chief Information Security Officer.